But to say that he will set up any other process other than what is in the constitution will not happen in Uganda.
Will you, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, accept a win for the opposition?
Well, if they won, I would accept it. But they can't win because we are the majority. We have our membership. We are not starting politics today. We know our membership. We know how many members we have.
Mr. President, you have ruled out an Egypt-style revolution in Uganda, and you said you will arrest anyone who comes out to protest. Surely you cannot arrest thousands of people, can you?
If the revolution which happened in Egypt must have its own local characteristics. I don't know what the issues are in Egypt. I have not really studied them, especially these days. Now, I don't know whether there were groups who were excluded from competition, or if the competition itself had some problem. But in the case of Uganda, there's total freedom as to participate in the competition for office. Now, if you compete and you lose, and then you say you will take power by other means other than the election, that one will not happen here in Uganda. I can assure you of that. It will not happen, and it will not take long to sort out.
How will you sort out?
We should just arrest those people who are taking the unconstitutional road. They'll just be arrested.
But you don't have enough jails to accommodate thousands of people, do you?
Oh, no, we don't have to arrest thousands. We arrest the ringleaders. They have tried it before, by the way. They have tried that rubbish. A revolution happens where there is conditions for it. Egypt had a revolution because the conditions must have been ripe. I don't see those conditions here.
Yeah, but Mr. President, people don't seem to trust institutions in Uganda anymore. Even the Electoral Commission that's overseeing these elections was declared incompetent by the Supreme Court, the country's highest court, after the last election in 2006. Yet, you reappointed them. Now, if you are really interested in free and fair elections, why didn't you allow the opposition to appoint a joint Electoral Commission with you?
A joint electoral commission of parties is not an electoral commission. That is an inter-party forum. Electoral commission must be made of neutral people, not party A, party B. How about other parties? But more importantly, the principle. An electoral commission cannot be a bipartisan or a tripartisan organ. If it does that, then it has stopped being an electoral commission. It should be a neutral one.
But neutral doesn't mean those you appoint. How do you expect the opposition to accept results released by a commission they don't trust?
These people first were approved by Parliament. There is the Appointments Committee of Parliament. That Appointments Committee is comprised of members from all parties. They're the ones who approved those names in the first place.
Mr. President, your opponents say you have presided over a corrupt government and there is currently no political will to tackle it. In the past, you have taken action, but only selectively. Those close to you have not been targeted, even some of them, when they've been implicated in corruption. How would you react to that?
Well, I don't know how much you know about Uganda. Uganda is a country which had a lot of problems. Stealing your money was the least of the problems we had. Top of the list was the stealing of lives of human beings. People are being slaughtered like chicken. Destroying the economy. Destroying the animals in the national parks through poaching by soldiers. Looting people on the highways by soldiers. All these were stopped. By whom? Not by those fellows in the opposition. They were stopped by the NRM. In the same way, we stopped those extreme abuses of human rights by fighting people who had more power than this bunch of thieves. Because like the people who were killing people were in the army, they had power, they had guns, but we fought them and disbanded them. So now how can a force which did all that fail to deal with a bunch of thieves?
Have you dealt with it?
Yes, we have dealt with many of them, but the issue here is evidence. It's, you know, when you are dealing with thieves, they don't steal during the day. They steal in hidden ways. It's not as obvious as, for instance, killing a human being. You need a fresh capacity, investigation, prosecution, the judges, and we have set up special institutions for that.
So you're saying you'll deal with all corrupt people, even if they are your relatives and members of your cabinet?
Of course, of course.
You've not dealt with those who've been implicated. An example is your security minister, Amama Mbambazi, and Mr. Kotesa, one of your in-laws.
Mbabazi was being hunted. You know, some of the people are trying to use these labels for political witch hunting, actually.
So you don't believe those allegations against them?
They were just, not only I don't believe, they were clear that they were not right. All of us, it was not only me, we sat in our caucus and we didn't see the capability of Mbabazi. If somebody is serious about fighting corruption, you don't take these matters to Parliament, because Parliament doesn't have time really to, or even the expertise to deal with corruption. So that shows you that in some of these cases, people have got political motives. They just want to pass a resolution so that you are branded. Because if you're interested in real justice, then you go to the technicians of justice, who are the judges.
Mr. President, let's talk about the oil that Uganda recently discovered. You have said in the past that Uganda's oil resources cannot be managed by the opposition, and some say that is why you're clinging on to power. How do you react to that?
Well, my dear friend, first of all, if you want to accuse me of clinging, accuse me of clinging to the resistance. Because I spent 20 years in the resistance. So what power was I clinging to? I was clinging to risks. Now, the resistance produced victory. Victory which we are using to build Uganda. So please, don't mix us up with those people of yours who power, what. We are on a mission. Liberate the country, build it up to a certain stage. Not only build Uganda, but also, if possible, build Africa.